Keep in mind that when this law was written, women could not vote. The idea of women even owning their own home was still a novel concept in some states. And speaking of states, Arizona wasn't one yet. Less than 10,000 people lived in what was then known as the Arizona Territory. Today, more than 7 million people do. That includes Republican Senate candidate and a contender to be Donald Trump's vice president, if he's the president and the Republican nominee, Kari Lake. She rushed out a statement, and it reads, in quote, in part, and I'm quoting her now, "I oppose today's ruling." But that statement requires a lot of context, given it wasn't that long ago that she said this about the very law that is set to go into effect.
We have a great law on the books right now. If that happens, we will be a state where we will not be taking the lives of our unborn anymore.
I'm incredibly thrilled that we are going to have a great law that's already on the books. I believe it's ARS 133603. So it will prohibit abortion in Arizona except to save the life of a mother. And I think we're going to be paving the way and setting course for other states to follow.
She even cited exactly which law it was. Lake, though, of course, is far from being the only Arizona Republican who is trying to distance themselves from today's ruling. Republican Congressman Juan Ciscomani has gone from saying, quote, "I applaud the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade," to calling today's ruling a disaster for women. Of course, the overturning of Roe versus Wade paved the way for what happened today. At the state level, Republican State Representative Matt Gress says today's, quote, "ruling cannot stand." But it was just last year that he was pushing a bill to declare fetuses as people, which obviously would make abortion illegal. Here's also something that's interesting in light of today's decision. Arizona's former Republican governor, Doug Ducey, added 2 seats in a successful effort to stack the state's Supreme Court. In all, he appointed 5 of the 7 justices who ruled today. Doug Ducey said what happened today is not his preferred outcome. But remember this, the 15-week law that he did sign, which he said today he believed would be a better option, included this specific language, not to repeal by implication or otherwise the very 1864 law that will soon go into effect. There's a simple reason that so many Republicans are racing to revise their previous positions, the state's 11 electoral votes, a number that could very well decide who the next president will be. Especially now that Arizona could soon be the first swing state with abortion on the ballot this fall, given abortion rights advocates say that they do have the signatures to give voters a direct say on this issue come November.